Hi, I'm Britt Dewey, and this is my AEP A55 case study. So this case study involves Rocket Junior High, a first-year principal, Richard Inman, 15-year-old student named James. He's a kid with a troubled past, comes from the rough side of town. A 13-year-old student named David. He's a kid with a clean past and a seemingly bright future. He's never been in trouble before. A teacher who was an eyewitness to this situation, and then the school police officer. The situation involves an illegal weapon in school, possible harassment, and bullying, and then of course the school's no tolerance policy, which is comes with a 45-day suspension. So this teacher witnessed James, the 15-year-old, exchange an item with another student, the 13-year-old David. Assistant Principal Inman called both students and the school's officer to the office. The teacher believed that it was going to be that it was had something to do with maybe a possible drug deal or something, some sort of illegal item. James admits to making David hold on to what turns out to be brass knuckles. He was going to use the brass knuckles after school to take care of some personal business. Officer searches David and finds the brass knuckles, an illegal item. Officer immediately handcuffs David. James tries to explain that he had threatened David to hold on to the item. Both students are taken to the youth detention facility, and both students are subjected to the school's policy, the zero tolerance um, weapon policy, and that it comes with a 45-day expulsion and then being admitted to a detention facility. Principal Inman feels deep guilt and frustration about the situation. James' mother accepts the decision of expulsion. This isn't the first time that he's been sent to the detention facility. David's mother was angry and doesn't understand why her son could be expelled if he was innocent. Principal Inman filled out the paperwork on James, but not David. He felt that David was just kind of a person in the wrong place at the wrong time. He came up, he just came past with a 15-year-old, 2-year older student, James, um, who threatened to beat him up if he didn't hold on to the brass knuckles for him. So that's where Principal Inman is having some um, feelings of guilt and frustration because he doesn't believe that David should be subjected to the 45-day suspension if he was being harassed into or forced to hold on to this item for him. And he actually felt some pride about James because James actually admitted to the fact that he did harass David on into holding the item. So he kind of fessed up and admitted that he was the one that got David involved in this situation. But the officer was just um, going off of the school policy. He saw that David had the illegal item, so he felt that he should be handcuffed, and as well as James because he had initially had the weapon. So these two students came in encounter with the weapon. The principal has some deep feelings of regret about this whole situation. To combat that, to compound that, the director of secondary education called Principal Inman and directed him to fill out the paperwork on David as well. If Inman doesn't go along with and follow through with this paperwork, the director will write him up with an official reprimand. So he could be in trouble if he doesn't follow through with what his duties are to follow the school's policy. So some legal and ethical issues with this case. Legally, of course, there's a zero tolerance policy of weapons in school. The policy states that students will be expelled for 45 days if they are, if they have the weapons in school. Ethically, though, there are some other issues involved. Harassment and bullying is stated, and that is playing a major role in this case. No investigation took place. The officer handcuffed the suspected harassment victim with the brass knuckles immediately, and the director suggested Igman follow up with the write-up. Still, there's no investigation taking place. So, ethically, it brings the question what kind of decisions are being made. Section 3. Synthesize. Principal Igman is in a situation where he must decide on whether to follow the school's policy, which could damage the image of a seemingly innocent student, or act based on his ethics to protect that student. Alright, so here are the facts. The people involved, we have the Richard Inman, the first year assistant principal. He's from the south side of town. He has been making an effort to connect with the um, the tough kids from the south side, which James is actually from. So him and James were playing basketball with each other, trying to build a relationship. There's the eyewitness teacher. The teacher witnessed the exchange and immediately summoned the principal. The teacher didn't follow through or didn't intervene initially, just called the office. James is a 15-year-old student. He comes from the south side of town. He's the leader of his kind of group from the south side. He has a troubled past. He's been in and out of the detention facility. So he's constantly running into a few issues here and there. Um, and then why did he have the brass knuckles? What was the business that he was going to handle after school? David is a 13-year-old student who was found with the brass knuckles. He's an honor roll student. He has never been in trouble. So he's modeled ethical behavior in his personal conduct previously. During the actual office meeting with the principal, the officer, and the two students, he appeared to be extremely nervous, shaking and sweating. And then there's a school officer who escorted David to the office and searched David and found the brass knuckles, and then immediately handcuffed David. So the school officer was following the policy black and white. So that's what he was doing in the case. All right, this is taking place at Rocket Middle School. There's about 900 students at this school. This school appears to be an urban community program. It's a middle school student again of 900 students. The age range is at least 13 to 15 based on the two students involved in this case. The unknowns, we don't know the condition of the school, we don't know the demographics, and we don't know the specific location of the school. Review. The situation could damage James. He is spending more time in a detention facility and out of school, which is always a bad thing. It could damage David, his image, and his life, potentially. The school, what kind of messages will be sent to other students and staff based on the decisions that will be made? The community, how will the community view the decision? And then it could damage Principal Inman. It could damage his job and his career, especially at the school, depending on his decision making. He's been told he will be written up if he doesn't follow the school's policy, but he doesn't believe that the school's policy is the most fair thing to consider in this particular case. Assistant Principal Inman should meet with the head principal and the superintendent. He should address his concerns of ethics and the policy regarding the situation. I believe they should review any camera footage to see if the story holds up, if that's possible, if they have cameras in the school. And he should also see if there was any other eyewitnesses. Just do more investigating with this particular case. A tough decision must be made. This wasn't handled well to begin with. Obviously, a more thorough investigation should have taken place. I do think with a weapon being in school, it's definitely in your best interest to involve the school officer just for the protection of all the students within the building. But as far as David actually coming in contact with a weapon is in question. If he was harassed or bullied into holding on to this weapon by an older student, he could be an innocent bystander who just kind of got caught up in the wrong thing. And I don't know if that justifies, as we have read this case, a 45-day suspension. Assistant principal should have met with each student individually and got both sides of the story. Identifying the options and consequences. So I think there's three options that you could go with here. You could follow the recommendation, write David up for expulsion. This protects your job, but goes against your ethics and harms David's image. You could disregard the director of secondary education and stick to your ethics. This could result in you losing your job, but it goes along with your ethics and your beliefs, and it also helps protect the student that you feel is that was caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time. And the third option, meet with the principal and superintendent to seek advice and investigate the situation further while communicating your concerns about the situation and the policy. This gives you time to learn from more seasoned educators and allows you an opportunity to be heard and investigate the case further. So choosing the best option. I believe that you must involve the head principal, the superintendent, and then even the director of secondary education. You should suggest investigating the situation further to protect the potentially innocent student. Gather more information, more eyewitnesses, check for any possible security surveillance, give both sides of the story. Potentially suggest ethical changes to the school's policy. I don't think in this situation it's fair to view the school policy as simply black and white. I think there's more that goes into it, especially because the person who initially had the brass knuckles admitted to threatening the other student into holding onto the brass knuckles. That other student maybe didn't make the best choice in accepting that, but with that threat, he kind of felt like that was his best option at the moment, I feel like. Information will be taken to the school board following the investigation. Maybe David did have a role in the actual with the brass knuckles, but at this point, it doesn't look like those two students had any prior contact with each other. I think you must advocate for ethical decision making. Give each student due process. Hear both sides of the story. Implementation of the decision. You must do what you feel is right, not what is easy. If you feel it is right to, act ethically and promote an ethical environment for your students, you must do so by acting ethically. It would be easy to protect yourself and not fight for what is right in this instance. Obviously, your job's on the line. But as far as implementation goes, get the principal and superintendent involved, investigate the case thoroughly, gather as many facts and eyewitnesses and both sides of the story as you can. Fight to incorporate ethical frameworks within the school's policy. Not everything is black and white. Sometimes common sense is needed. Model ethical behavior. Fight for what is right. And then present the results of the investigation to the school board and suggest any necessary changes to the board policy as you see fit. So my closing remarks. School staff must always ensure the safety of all their students. Okay, Mr. Inman did this by getting the officer involved immediately. This action, however, did ultimately result in a student being arrested for something they may have not been directly involved with. But again, it's important as a school leader to ensure the safety of all students. When ethics, have been breached, you must always fight for what is right. In this situation, Mr. Inman realized ethics had been breached. To promote ethical behavior to your students, you must model such behavior. If someone is not treated as an individual, or as they should be, you need to make sure that happens. Everything needs to be examined on a case-by-case basis. So again, with this case, yes, there was a weapon in school that shouldn't have been there, but there was also this harassment and bullying situation that brought this other student along who wasn't directly involved initially. Policy. Because the student hadn't been in any prior trouble, has a clean past, and is subject to this harassment and bullying situation, it might be important to note to your policymakers that first-time offenders and background information should be considered when investigating such cases. All facts should be gathered to make sure an informed decision on how to handle each unique situation is met. Weapons in the school are not tolerated, but neither is harassment and bullying. In this situation, harassment played a major role and David ending up with the brass knuckles. As this case reads, I don't believe that David is deserving of being expelled. I think he was just caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, as this situation reads.